Hey, everybody. Welcome to Battle Wounds Podcast. And I am your host, Amos St. John. I am so glad that we have made it to another week. I know we've just celebrated Easter. I really hope that you had a great Easter weekend. You had great time in fellowship at church. And for those who it may be your first time going to church this weekend, I really hope you had an amazing experience and you are willing to go back another Sunday. Come on. Don't wait till Mother's Day. Come on. Come back and visit whatever church it was or see another church. Check them out, I think that's cool. But anyways, I hope you had a great Easter Sunday brunch. I know they be cooking some good food out here in these streets, man. So we made it to another week and we've made it through Easter weekend. All the egg hunts, Easter egg hunts are done, and now we're gearing up. I guess the next big event is Mother's Day. Yeah, that should be cool. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe now, like right now. Yes, subscribe, like, follow, comment, share this with someone else, okay? I am building an army. Battle Wounds is about building an army of people who want to better their lives, especially the men. If you want to better your lives, be honest, open, and transparent about the things that you've endured, the battles that you fight or have fought personally, individually and corporate, and collectively. These are the kind of conversations we have. The lessons that I share and the thoughts that I share are from experiences, and the conversations that I have with people are people who have endured and who have stand the test of times, and to have the opportunity to share and help bring someone else through to victory. All right, so I'm building an army. Be a part of this army, okay? Share, like, follow, subscribe. Be a part of this army. I need an army of soldiers. Come on, men, even women, okay? I'm an equal opportunist, all right? Come on. Oh, man, I appreciate it. Listen, the love, I feel the love is spreading. I feel that the message is spreading. I'm loving the feedback. Come on, let's keep it going. We're going to keep going. This is for the long term, and I really, really hope that this is helping you, okay? Last week, we talked a little bit about, emotions. Men's and emotions, man. I tell you, I'm thankful that I'm in touch with my emotions. I'm honest. I'm very self-aware when I deal with emotions, and that's not common amongst men. I can be honest about that, and I look forward to having more conversations about that. But it's not often where men talk about emotions, and so I don't know. That's a highly popular topic amongst men, but I know some women would appreciate talking about men and their emotions, because I know sometimes it's hard to figure us out. Some men are extremely, closed doors. Their emotions are just not there, and then some men are overly expressive, and some men are in between. I think I'm in between. I may teeter a little bit to more emotional, but I tend to stay in the middle and be right in between, rock solid or sometimes emotional. So that's just me. I mean, maybe people who know me may have a different perspective, but hey, to each his own. But I just wanted to say thank you again for the feedback. And if you haven't checked it out, make sure you go back and check out that episode about emotions. I'm telling you, man, this is what it's about. This is what it's about. We are going to have the conversations. Men, we're going to have these conversations about everything, And so as we grow this army in Battle Wounds Podcast, I really want you to just continue to share and like and follow and comment and just let me know how you feel about this podcast, okay? This week I want to talk about something, something that we all deal with for those who travel. I travel a lot, and I know a lot of people like to travel. And one thing I hate turbulence. I hate it. I can imagine there's anyone I don't think would like turbulence. Say, hey, I love turbulence. No, I hate turbulence. So that's what this topic is about today. Not airplane turbulence. I'm going to speak about life turbulence. Yes, life's disruptions, life's changes. It's sometimes change is sometimes turbulent, and I hate turbulence. I'm gonna be honest. I can never say I welcome, disruptions in life. I don't welcome them. It's part of it, but I don't welcome turbulence. But I want to talk about 5 things I hate about turbulence. The turbulence in life. And I want to share about that. I'm not going to be long, but I want to talk about it because it's important that we talk about it. In my life, I've dealt with a lot of turbulence. I'm dealing with turbulence now in life. I'm a little probably more susceptible to it. I'm used to it by now. I've adjusted to it, but it's still something that I don't like. I hate it. There's very few things I hate. Well, I don't like turbulence. Especially what we're dealing with in the news about Boeing. Especially when you fly, you hear about Boeing and things falling apart in their airplanes, and it just gives you a lot of anxiety about flying and how safe these planes are that's in the air, and how it can deal with turbulence. And so I want to apply that with life. There's some things in life, in this journey in life we have in life. It's turbulent. It can be turbulent. There's sometimes when you're flying, it's a smooth flight. You can sleep all the way from the minute you board into the minute you land and not feel a single thing. But there's sometimes you are jolted and woken up in the middle of your sleep because you've hit turbulence. And so I want to talk about 5 things that I hate about turbulence. 5 things. All right. The first thing I want to talk about is traumatic. Turbulence is traumatic. Once you hit, like this past weekend, a week or 2 weekends ago, when I was headed to Colorado, we was landing, or maybe even before we landed, I had my headphones on and I was just chilling. I was listening to my worship music, and I just was kind of, I was just kind of, looking at my eyelids and all of a sudden something just happened. Like the plane just dipped. It was just out of nowhere. And for the next few minutes, it just kept going up and down and up. And it was so unexpected. It was so disturbing. It was so traumatic. I will never forget it. Turbulence in life is traumatic for a lot of people. And we never get over the trauma that easily. It's something that we carry through our lives. We get stronger. That's why I call this battle wounds. It's a wound that heals, and we got scars, to show that. But it's trauma. It's traumatic. And the stronger we get, the more we can talk about it. The more we can that we climb over it. We can look back and say, "Hey, I went through this. It was traumatic, but this is what I learned from it, and this is how I grow from that." And so it's still traumatic. Turbulence in life is still traumatic. It's still traumatic. That's what I hate about turbulence. It's traumatic. You can never easily forget about it, but you have to go through a process to get over it. If you want to continue flying and, growing and going up in life, you have to be able to accept the fact that you've gone through the trauma, you're healed, you did to take the proper steps to address the trauma so you can continue to grow and go higher in life. Okay? Now, some people never get over the trauma of turbulence. And back to the parallel of flying. Some people, once they had one bad experience and they've never flew ever again. That trauma was unforgettable and understandable. And they never decided to take the plane. Some people would drive 20, 30 hours instead of taking a 3-hour flight. They would rather take that long journey because of trauma. That's how serious it is. It's nothing to play with. It's debilitating. And so we don't take turbulence in life lightly. Now, if you're able to heal from it, to take the necessary steps to heal from the trauma of turbulence in your life, you're able to go forward and go back to certain places, or go back to certain seasons, and go back to be around certain people, certain things that caused your turbulence, and you're able to kind of walk through it and be fine. because you've taken the necessary steps to heal from the trauma of the turbulence in life. The second thing I want to talk about, turbulence is somewhat unavoidable, especially if you're trying to get higher in life. The higher you climb, the more turbulence becomes unavoidable. You're going to have to deal with some level of pressure. Planes, as they climb up, they deal with an unexplainable pressure. It's a lot of pressure, and sometimes they're able to maneuver through it, but it's unavoidable. The turbulence is unavoidable. As you are climbing up in life, you're going to have to deal with turbulence. It's unavoidable. Now, if you don't want to climb and remain at the same level all your life, then it's avoidable. You've avoided turbulence in certain areas. But if you're trying to climb that mountain, there's more pressure. There's more turbulence. There's winds. There's so many disturbances. There's so much. Turbulence is unavoidable if you're trying to succeed and climb up in life. You're gonna deal with some turbulence. It's unavoidable. Man, I wish I could avoid the turbulence in my life. The countless amounts of stories of me dealing with turbulence. Man. But one thing I'm glad I have is resilience and strength. So when troubles or turbulence come, I have a certain strength and I have a certain stamina because I have accepted it. Sometimes if I want to succeed in life, I'm going to have to deal with some turbulence. If you're trying to climb up that ladder, you're going to deal with some haters. You're going to deal with some people who don't want to see you win. It's unavoidable. The road and the keys to success requires to deal with difficult things, difficult people, difficult situations. It's unavoidable. But keep climbing. Keep trying to win. You're going to make it. The third thing, turbulence I hate about turbulence, it's unsettling. The shaking. It can be violent. It's like you, like I said, on this past trip, I was sitting down listening to my worship music with my Bose headphones on, noise canceling. I'm thinking it's totally quiet. All of a sudden, I am dealing with a shake. It's violent. It's just boo. It's disturbing. And I'm telling you, that shaking, it hurts. Now let's go to the parallel in life. When you deal with turbulence that is so unsettling, sometimes you have to deal with some shaking in your life. You have to shake the foundation. Some unhealthy things needs to be broken off, needs to be shaken off so you can make room for the more healthier things in your life. So yes, sometimes the turbulence serves a good purpose. The unsettling and the shaking and sometimes the violence of it all in life and the turbulence of life, it shakes up some things in you that needs to be dealt with. It awakens that maybe there's some things or some environments or some people that I need to move away from. It's a shaking. It's an awakening. Yes, I was resting. Like I said, I was looking at my eyelids. Then the unsettlingness of the turbulence from the plane woke me up. It woke me up from sleep, from comfort. Now I'm in discomfort in the midst of turbulence. And sometimes you have to embrace the discomfort in order to grow. All of this episode is about growth. Yeah, turbulence, yes, it's a negative thing, but it leads to positivity. I'm going to say, turbulence leads to positive things, okay? And so when you deal with that unsettling and you deal with the things that can be violent and it shakes you up, it makes you uncomfortable. You have to deal with the discomfort of it all. Sometimes you have to embrace it to get to that destination. Sometimes you have to deal with the unsettling to get to your destination. And sometimes when I've dealt with some terrible turbulence and I get to that island and I'll get to that beautiful destination, I actually sometimes forget about it because I made it to my destination. I had to endure some things, but you know what? It was worth it because now I'm here. Now I can enjoy making it to my destination. As much as I hate turbulence, and sometimes I hate to deal with the unsettlingness of the shaking and the violence of it all, when I make it to my destination, I realize it was worth it. Yeah, It was a hard road, but I made it. I made it. Fourth thing I want to talk about. Yeah, it could be unpredictable. You don't know where it's going to come from. You don't know how it is. You know it's coming. You're going to deal with it because, again, you're elevating. You're elevating. I did an album a couple of years ago. My last full album is called Elevate. And if for those who have it, if you look at the actual cover, I was going through something in my life, and it was turbulent. And sometimes, and when you're in a plane, when you hit some turbulence, the pilot has the ability to go above the turbulence, so you're in the midst of it all. Then all of a sudden he just elevates above the turbulence. And so that's where that whole concept of Elevate, my last album, came from. But again, you're going to have to descend through the turbulence to get down to your destination. So yeah, I'm thankful that I'm able to rise above and elevate above my turbulence and somewhat avoid it for a short period of time, but you're going to have to deal with it on the descent down to your destination. So it's still unavoidable, but it's unpredictable. Unpredictable. Turbulence is no formula. There's no blueprint. There's no way to see it coming. Like, it's going to happen because of storms, but you don't know how it's going to happen. You don't know how violent it's going to be. You don't know how, so all you got to do is buckle up. All they what to say, put your seatbelt on. Put on your seatbelt. Because we're about to deal with some turbulence. It's coming, but you don't know how it's gonna. You don't know how it's gonna affect you. You don't know what's gonna change. You know what I'm saying? And so you don't know. I hate to say, oxygen mask gonna fall off. You know what I'm saying? There's sometimes it gets so unpredictable. It creates disturbance on the plane, and you start seeing stuff like oxygen mask falling off because it's so unpredictable, and so you have to deal with that in turbulence. I hate it, but it's part of the cycle. It's part of the journey. It's unpredictable. But as long as you're still going towards your destination, you still got to keep going. Do not be discouraged. Do not stop. You have to keep going and make it through the turbulence. It's unavoidable. Yes, you can get some comfort and elevate, but you're going to have to get to your destination. You're going to have to get through it again. So before I go to my last point, I want to do some review. We deal with the trauma of it. It's traumatic. We dealt with the fact that it's unavoidable. And then we dealt with the fact that it's unsettling. And then we dealt with the fact that it's unpredictable. And my final point of what I hate about turbulence, it leads to redirection. Sometimes the course the pilot sets for is disturbed by turbulence, and so it causes the pilot to change direction and may have to take a longer route to get to the destination. So what would normally take an hour and a half, the fact that you hit some turbulence and you got to redirect, it may add another 30, 40 minutes to your trip, or you may have to circle, And so, yes, it's inconvenient, but, you still get to your destination. You may take a little longer, but it's part of the journey. There's many times I've dealt with turbulence in my life, and I had a timeline in my head. I had a timeline, oh man, I'm going to, in 3 to 6 months, I'll be here. Then life happens, turbulence happens. And what would normally take 3 to 6 months takes a year, makes 2-3 years. But all I'm encouraging you throughout this whole podcast, you have to keep going. Do not stop. Do not let it deter you. Let it make you stronger. Let it teach you lessons. Let it teach you things to learn, grow from. Keep going. Turbulence comes, but let it, endure it, but let it teach you the lessons, like even the discomfort, embrace it and let it teach you something. You have to deal with some tough times. You have to deal with, I realize in my life now, there's what? Sometimes discomfort is necessary to get to that destination. Turbulence is necessary to get to your destination. And it may take a little longer, that redirection. Man, I had so many plans in my life. Then things happen, seasons come, and then it just throws everything off. But as long as I may slow down, I may stop for a second, but I get back on the saddle and keep going. So I want to encourage you, keep going. Don't stop. You're going to make it to your destination. I know things are turbulent in your life, but you have to keep going. It's traumatic. Yes, it is. It's very traumatic. Turbulence is not cool. It's somewhat unavoidable. It's unsettling. It's unpredictable. And it causes redirection in your life. Turbulence is not a fun thing. I'm thankful to pull positives from it, but it's not fun. It's not cool. But again, I'm encouraging you. If you're listening and watching this podcast, life has its turbulence, but my encouragement to you is to keep going. Please don't stop. Now, if you're wounded, if you're hurt, take moments to attend to that wound. Deal with that pain, deal with that trauma, deal with that hurt, deal with it. But keep going. Not but, and keep going. Because sometimes but, it eliminates anything before it. But no, and keep going. Deal with it, heal from it, and keep going. I'm encouraging you. You're part of the army now. You're part of my army now. Listen, battle wounds. We all fighting this bad thing in life that has many battles. A lot of us are dealing with a lot of battles. I'm realizing more and more today, you know what? Amos, you're not the only one going through. A lot of people are going through. And I want to encourage you. Please keep going. I hate turbulence. All of us hate turbulence. Very few of us like turbulence. And the few of them that like them, I give them a little side eye like. But you have to keep going. You're going to get to your destination, and everything's going to be just fine. So that's what I have for you today. Yeah, I hate it. Turbulence ain't cool. It's not cool. But you know what? I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep going. Yeah, I may be tired. It may be worn. It may wore you out. It may be traumatic. But you know what? Understand, it's part of this journey of life. You're climbing higher to higher heights and deeper depths. It requires discomfort. Yes, it's not going to be easy to get to that next level in your life. And all I'm encouraging you in this episode of Battle Wounds Podcast is to keep going. All right? Oh, thank you so much for tuning in. I just wanted to share this encouraging word, even from a very negative thing of turbulence. Nobody wants to deal with turbulence. I hate it. But we have to deal with it in order to get to the next level in our lives. So I appreciate you tuning in, and hopefully this helps encourage you as you go through tough times to keep going. You're not alone. Many of us are dealing with turbulence in our lives, or have dealt with, or are about to deal with. And all I can keep telling you is keep going. You're going to make it through. I'm so encouraged. I'm telling you, if it encouraged you, it encouraged me, because I'm going to keep going. All right, I'm going to keep doing this podcast. I'm going to keep moving on with other ventures in my life. Despite of the setbacks, despite of the hurdles, despite of the rejections, despite of the disappointments, I'm going to keep going. And I can't wait to make it to my destination, because it's going to happen. I'm encouraged. And I encourage you again to keep going and keep subscribing, keep following, keep commenting, keep liking, keep sharing this podcast. And I'm telling you, we got some more exciting things coming in the horizon. And I'm just so thankful that you have been a part of this journey. And I really appreciate you tuning into this episode. I really hope that this helped you out, and understand that health is wealth. Health, a healthy mind, a healthy body, a healthy soul is wealth. Not just having a bunch of money or health is wealth. Being healthy is wealthy. So that's why I always like to close with saying health is wealth. So again, thank you so much for tuning in to the Battle Wounds Podcast. I'm your host, Amos St. John. And until next time, have a great one.